Let's see what happens. Go, 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 go. Catch that tube, buddy. Catch that tube. Get in there. Oh, nice one. All right. I think that looks pretty good. You'll probably scoot it over just a little bit. There we go. All right. Hey, aloha, friends. We're back, and we're back at DT Fleming's. There was a huge swell that went by last couple days, and the boys were too scared to get out, and so they said, well, it's going to be smaller today, so I'm ready to go. And now it's too small. So I don't know what kind of a biblical application you could come up with there. I'm sure that there's situations in the Bible where similar things have occurred, but for us, we're getting ready to hit up with Genesis chapter 27, I believe, and 28 and 29. We'll just see how far we get. I try to keep these videos kind of short, and then also my technology is basically I'm doing with what I've got. I didn't invest a lot of money in any of this kind of thing. It was more God's idea that I do this, and I'm having a lot of fun doing it. So let's go ahead and get rolling. Oh, let's see if he catches this one. Go, 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 my man, go, go, go. That was a bigger one. All right, so here we go. Genesis chapter 26, I think, and or 27 maybe. I just go right back onto my internet here. I've got BibleGateway.com right here, and last we were talking about Abimelech and Abraham, and they were having basically the same conversation that Abraham and Abimelech were having. And so, like I say, the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. Okay, so here we go. So I guess not a whole lot happened during Isaac's time, or at least not according to the Bible, because it says here that Isaac blesses Jacob. And chapter 27 starts, now it came to pass when Isaac was old, and his eyes were so dim that he couldn't even see, that he called Esau his older son, and said to him, my son. And Esau answered him, here I am. Then he said, behold, now I am old, I do not know the day of my death. Now therefore, please take your weapons, your quiver, and your bow, and go out to the field and hunt game for me, and make me savory food, such as I love, and bring it to me that I may eat, that my soul may bless you before I die. So here he is already, Isaac getting ready to have his last supper. And so Jacob is a great hunter, a big red hunter. And you remember in the last chapter that Jacob, I guess you could say, some people say he tricked Esau into giving him his blessing, but Esau gave up his blessing for some stew that Jacob was twisting up in the tent. Remember, he's a tent dweller. And then the word that was used to describe the way that Esau gave up his birthright was almost like he didn't care about any of that. He despised it. So I don't know if any of you have sons out there that seem to despise you or what your family stands for, and maybe they've set themselves against what you've decided your family would stand for. But if it makes you feel any better, you know, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, they have all the same types of qualms. So anyway, here we go. It says, now Rebekah was listening when Isaac spoke to Esau, his son. Now remember, Rebekah is Isaac's wife. And Esau went to the field to hunt game and to bring it. So Rebekah spoke to Jacob, her son, saying, indeed, I heard your father speak. Oh, so close. That close. You should have went for it. Just, yeah, that's true. Everybody, I'm sorry. I probably have to edit that out. but he was on a cherry one, and he almost got the tube. So anyway, Rebekah's saying to Jacob in hushed tones, "Hey, I heard your father speak to Esau, your brother, saying, 'Bring me game and make savory food for me, that I may eat it and bless you in the presence of the Lord before my death. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice according to what I command you. Go now to the flock and bring me from there 2 choice kids of the goats, and I will make savory food from them for your father, such as he loves. Then you shall take it to your father, that he may eat it, and that he may bless you before his death.' And Jacob said to Rebekah his mother, 'Look, Esau my brother is a hairy man, and I am a smooth-skinned man. Perhaps my father will feel me, and I shall seem to be a deceiver to him, and I shall bring a curse on myself and not a blessing.' But his mother, Rebekah, said to him, 'Let your curse be on me, my son. Only obey my voice, and go, get them for me.' And he went and got them, and brought them to his mother, and his mother made savory food, such as his father loved. Then Rebekah took the choice clothes of her elder son Esau, which were with her in the house, and put them on Jacob her younger son. And she put the skins of the kids of the goats on his hands, and the smooth part of his neck. And she gave the savory food and the bread which she had prepared into the hand of her son Jacob. And so he went to his father and said, 'My father.' And he said, 'Here I am. Who are you, my son?' Jacob said to his father, 'I am Esau, your firstborn. I have done just as you've told me. Please arise, sit and eat of my game, that your soul may bless me.' But Isaac said to his son, 'How is it that you have found it so quickly, my son?'" You know, Isaac's not no dummy. And he says, "Because the Lord your God brought it to me." Man, there's all kinds of deceit here. Rebekah deceiving him. He just, like Jacob, just straight up lied. Who is it? Who is it? And he's like, "I'm Esau." And then now, you know, one of the big 10 commandments is don't use the Lord's name in vain. Here he says, "How did you get that game so quickly?" And he says, "Because the Lord your God brought it to me." And if that's not using the Lord's name in vain, I don't know what is. But anyway, I digress. I'm not a biblical scholar. Isaac said to Jacob, "Please come near, that I may feel you, my son, whether you are really my son Esau or not." So Jacob went near to Isaac his father, and he felt him and said, "The voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau." And he did not recognize him, because his hands were hairy like his brother Esau's hands. So he blessed him. Then he said, "Are you really my son Esau?" And he said, "I am." He said, "Bring it near to me, and I will eat of my son's game, that my soul may bless you." So he brought it near to him, and he ate. And he brought him wine, and he drank. Then his father Isaac said to him, "Come near now, and kiss me, my son." And he came near, and he kissed him. And the smell he smelled of his clothing, and blessed him, and said, "Surely the smell of my son is like the smell of a field, which the Lord has blessed. Therefore may God give you of the dew of heaven, of the fatness of the earth, and plenty of grain and wine. Let peoples serve you, and nations bow down to you. Be master over your brethren, and let your mother's sons bow down to you. Cursed be everyone who curses you, and blessed be those who bless you." Now it happened, as soon as Isaac had finished blessing Jacob, and Jacob had scarcely gone out from the presence of Isaac his father, that Esau the brother came in from his hunting. He also had made savory food, and brought it to his father, and said to his father, "Let my father arise and eat of his son's game, that your soul may bless me." And his father Isaac said to him, "Who are you?" And he says, "I'm your firstborn son, Esau." Then Isaac trembled exceedingly, and said, Where is the one who hunted game and brought it to me? I ate all of it before you came, and I have blessed him, and indeed he shall be blessed." When Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with an exceedingly great and bitter cry, and said to his father, "Bless me! Me also, oh my father!" But he said, "Your brother came with deceit, and has taken away your blessing." And Esau says, Is he not rightly named Jacob? For he has supplanted me of these times. These 2 times. He took away my birthright, and now look, he has taken away my blessing. And he says, have you not reserved a blessing for me? Then Isaac answered and said to Esau, indeed, I have made him your master, and all his brethren I have given to him as servants. With grain and wine I have sustained him. What shall I do for you now, my son? And Esau said to his father, have you only one blessing, my father? And Esau lifted up his voice, and he wept. Then Isaac his father answered and said to him, behold, your dwelling shall be of the fatness of the earth, and the dew of the heaven from above. By your sword you shall live, and you shall serve your brother. And it shall come to pass, when you become restless, that you shall break his yoke from your neck. Well, Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing with which his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand, and then I will kill my brother Jacob. Well, yeah. I do have a question already, though. What's the difference between the blessing and the birthright? I thought they were the same thing. It says, the words of Esau and her older son were told to Rebekah. And so she sent and called Jacob, her younger son, and said to him, your brother Esau comforts himself concerning you by intending to kill you. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice. Arise, flee to my brother Laban in Haran, and stay with him a few days until your brother's fury turns away, until your brother's anger turns away from you, and he forgets what you have done to him. Then I will send and bring you from there. Why should I be bereaved also of both of you in one day? And Rebekah said to Isaac, I am weary of my life because of the daughters of Heth. If Jacob takes a wife of the daughters of Heth, like these who are the daughters of the land, what good will be my life to me? I'm not sure about that either. Okay, chapter 28. It says, Jacob sent to his uncle Laban. Then Isaac called Jacob and blessed him and charged him and said to him, you shall not take a wife from the daughters of Canaan. Arise, go to Padan Aram, to the house of Bethuel, your mother's father, your grandpa, and take yourself a wife from there of the daughters of Laban, your mother's brother, so your cousin. May God Almighty bless you, and make you fruitful and multiply you, that you may be an assembly of people, and give you the blessing of Abraham to you and your descendants with you, that you may inherit the land in which you are a stranger, which God gave to Abraham. So Isaac sent Jacob away, and he went to Padan Aram to Laban, the son of Bethuel the Syrian, the brother of Rebekah, and the mother of Jacob and Esau. Esau saw that Isaac had blessed Jacob, and sent him away to Padan Aram to take himself a wife from there, and that as he blessed him, he gave him a charge, saying, you shall not take a wife from the daughters of Canaan, and that Jacob had obeyed his father and his mother, and had gone to Padan Aram. Also Esau saw that the daughters of Canaan did not please his father Isaac. So Esau went to Ishmael and took Mahalath, the daughter of Ishmael, Abraham's son, the sister of Nebajoth, to be his wife in addition to the wives he had. Now Jacob went out from Beersheba and went towards Haran. So he came to a certain place and stayed there all night, because the sun had set. And he took one of the stones of that place, and he put it at his head, and he lay down in that place to sleep. Then he dreamed, and behold, a ladder was set up to the earth, and its top reached to the heavens, and there the angels of God were ascending and descending on the ladder. And behold, the Lord stood above it and said, I am the Lord God of Abraham your father, and the God of Isaac. The land on which you lie I will give to you and your descendants. Also your descendants shall be as the dust of the earth, and you shall spread abroad to the west and east, to the north and south, and in you and in your seed all the families of the earth shall be blessed. Behold, I am with you and will keep you wherever you want to go, and will bring you back to this land, for I will not leave you until you have done what I have spoken to you." Then Jacob awoke from his sleep and said, "Surely the Lord is in this place, and I did not know it." And he was afraid, and he said, "How awesome is this place! This is none other than the house of God, and this is the gate of heaven." Then Jacob rose early in the morning and took the stone that he had put at his head and set it up as a pillar, and he poured oil on top of it. And he called the name of that place Bethel, but the name of that city had been Luz previously. Then Jacob made a vow, saying, "If God will be with me and keep me in his way that I am going, and give me bread to eat and clothing to put on, so that I may come back to my father's house in peace, then the Lord shall be my God. And this stone which I have set as a pillar shall be God's house, and of all that you give me, I will surely give a tenth to you." Wow, that's big. Have you set a pillar anywhere? I have. You can set a pillar in your heart. You can set a pillar in your mind. Or you can actually construct a pillar, and you can represent that pillar in your heart or mind or on the land as your point of determination that you're going to give your life to the Lord, or that you're going to be a better father, or whatever the case may be. I really like this. And then of course you've got, I don't know that this is actually the tithe, but it sure sounds like it. He says, "And all that you give me, I will surely give you a tenth." It actually doesn't sound like a very good deal for the Lord. If you give me something, I'll give you a tenth. But the Lord is good, right? So, okay, moving on. Let's see what happens to Jacob. Here we go, Genesis chapter 29. Oh, Jacob meets Rachel. So Jacob went on to his journey and came to the land of the people of the east. And he looked and he saw a well in the field, and behold, there were 3 flocks of sheep lying by it, for out of that well they watered the flocks. A large stone was on the well's mouth. Now all the flocks would be gathered there, and they would roll the stone from the well's mouth, water the sheep, and put the stone back over the well's mouth. And Jacob said to them, "My brethren, where are you from?" And he said, "We are from Haran." Then he said to them, "Do you know Laban, the son of Nahor?" And they said, "We know him." So he said to them, "Is he well?" And they said, "He is well. And look, his daughter Rachel is coming with the sheep." Then he said, "Look, it is still high day. It is not time for the cattle to be gathered together. Water the sheep and go and feed them." But they said, "We cannot until all the flocks are gathered together and they have rolled the stone away from the well's mouth. Then we water the sheep." Now while he was still speaking with them, Rachel came with her father's sheep, for she was a shepherdess. And it came to pass, when Jacob saw Rachel, the daughter of Laban his mother's brother, and the sheep of Laban his mother's brother, that Jacob went near and rolled the stone from the well's mouth and watered the flock of Laban his mother's brother. Then Jacob kissed Rachel and lifted up his voice and wept. And Jacob told Rachel that he was her father's relative and that he was Rebekah's son. So she ran and told her father. Then it came to pass, when Laban heard the report about Jacob his sister's son, that he ran to meet them and embraced him and kissed him and brought him to his house. So he told Laban all these things, and Laban said to him, "Surely you are my bone and my flesh." And he stayed with him for a month. Then Laban said to Jacob, "Because you are my relative, should you therefore serve me for nothing? Tell me, what should your wages be?" Now Laban had 2 daughters. The name of the elder was Leah, and the name of the younger was Rachel. Leah's eyes were delicate, but Rachel was beautiful of form and appearance. Now Jacob loved Rachel, so he said, "I will serve you 7 years for Rachel your younger daughter." And Laban said, "It is better that I give her to you than that I should give her to another man, so stay with me." So Jacob served 7 years for Rachel, and they seemed only a few days to him because he had such a deep love for her. Then Jacob said to Laban, "Give me my wife, for my days are fulfilled, that I may go into her." And Laban gathered together all the men of the place and made a feast. And it came to pass in the evening that he took Leah his daughter and brought her to Jacob, and he went into her. And Laban gave his maid Zilpah to his daughter Leah as a maid. So it came to pass in the morning that, behold, it was Leah. And he said to Laban, "What is this that you've done to me? Was it not for Rachel that I served you? Why then have you deceived me?" And Laban said, "It must not be done so in our country to give the younger before the firstborn. Fulfill her week, and we will give you this one also for the service which you will serve with me still yet another 7 years." What? Man, this whole Old Testament is full of all kinds of shamefulness. All right, it says, "Then Jacob did so and fulfilled her week, so he gave him his daughter Rachel as wife also." Nice one. "And Laban gave his maid Bilhah to his daughter Rachel as a maid. Then Jacob also went in to Rachel, and he also loved Rachel more than Leah. And he served with Laban still yet another 7 years. When the Lord saw that Leah was unloved, he opened her womb, but Rachel was barren. So Leah conceived and bore a son, and she called his name Reuben. For she said, 'The Lord has surely looked upon my affliction. Now therefore my husband will love me.' Then she conceived again and bore a son, and said, 'Because the Lord has heard that I am unloved, he has therefore given me this son also.' And she called his name Simeon. She conceived again and bore a son, and said, 'Now this time my husband will become attached to me, because I have borne him 3 sons. Therefore his name was called Levi.' And she conceived again and bore a son, and said, 'Now I will praise the Lord.' Therefore she called his name Judah. And then she stopped bearing." And so yet here we have it again. One is barren and another is having the babies, and one of the forefathers is in the thick of it all. So honestly, folks, I don't know if it's just a literary device that's happening upon us, that there's so much treachery being delivered here in the family of God. But maybe it means something, there may be some deeper meaning. But I don't think it's right. I mean, do you? Let me know in the comments below. Go ahead, subscribe. Please share. If this is a blessing to you, maybe it'll be a blessing to others. Check out the layman's commentary for any questions that we may have that I've looked into. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and say a prayer, and then aloha. We'll see you again the next time. Father in heaven, Jehovah, Yahweh, the Father of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, thank you very much for this opportunity to read your word and try to wrestle with it and understand what it all means. Thank you that it's not perfect in the way of some sort of Hollywood story where we can just watch it and smile and wrap it up and never think about it again. But instead it's like life itself, which is difficult and strange, and there's good news and there's bad news and there's treachery even within our own families. So I pray for these folks that are watching. I pray that you would bless them. I pray that you would give them wisdom. I pray that you would give them health in these tough days. I love you. I praise you always in Jesus' powerful name. Amen. All right, everybody. Until next time. Word that we learned last time. A hooey ho. A hooey ho. How's it going, my man?